Hi guys, it's Ellen Red, Ascension Guide, Twin Flame Coach, Psychic Medium, coming on a little bit sleepy today. I'm in a hotel and I was getting a lot of psychic imprints from the bed that I was sleeping on, so it's really got me looking and feeling a little bit tired. But I wanted to come on and talk about how to hold the higher vibration, especially in these most critical times. And I can assure you that even for the best of us, these times are challenging for all of us. They're testing us. They're really, really trying times for us. And so a couple of things. One, I just want to put out first that the key is to not spiritual bypass, not to bypass and go float off in space and, all that in the midst of times that are really critical. We're here on the earth plane to do work on the earth plane, to assist in the earth plane. There's people that are filing lawsuits. There's people that are, speaking the truth. There's people that are sharing information. All of those things are really important in this time to continue helping educate people, to continue helping share truth, and to combat the forces that are trying to suffocate the truth. So that is a component of the work that we're doing on the earth plane. We came here, sorry, I have a little something here, I gotta move this little thing down. Sorry about that. These things, I need to get a new one. Anyhow, we came to this earth plane to help on the earth plane. So, as much as it's important that we're talking about the higher consciousness and working from an energetic perspective in the 5D energy, we are still needing to take action steps in the physical world. And those action steps are going to be very highly critical. If we don't take those action steps in the physical world, it doesn't matter how much we do in 5D or in our higher energies, those bandwidths, that does matter, but we still have to have the action steps in the physical world. That's how manifestation happens. It's not just going to happen from you thinking good thoughts. It happens from you doing things, changing things. You don't like the way your room looks? Get up and move the furniture around. You see, you need to take those steps in order for something to change in the physical reality. No matter how much we know in the higher dimensions, it's not going to change in this reality until we physically take those steps. So I want to make that really crystal clear for everybody, that this is not a time to just be thinking positive thoughts. This is a time for action step. This is a time to make change. This is a time to take action, file lawsuits, speak out, talk to your neighbors, take the steps that it takes. Stay in love, of course, but at the same time, we do need to do that. Now, with that said, as far as holding your own love vibration or 5D energy or higher consciousness state of being, you need to do that so that when you're taking those action steps, you're doing it from the space of love. And in order to do that, you need to, keep yourself connected to the bandwidth of the 5D. Higher consciousness and different levels of consciousness is all about connecting yourself to bandwidth. It's like a radio frequency. You can be on one radio station and be hearing all this chaos and stress, or get paranoid, or when you get, a lot of people get paranoid because they're in the 4D. They don't know it. They don't understand, but that's what's happening in the 4D. When you get into a different vibration, you get into a 5D vibration or bandwidth or a radio station, then you're able to connect with the higher realms, the unconditional love, peace, joy. And when you hold on and anchor that into your own being, then when you go into the world, no matter what we're seeing, no matter what's going on in the world, you still anchor in that 5D energy. It's what's happening in the world is, as much as there's a lot of people doing bad deeds, we have to remember that their soul still belongs to the divine. And that, everything is going to be worked out in the wash. So those that are doing the bad deeds, they're choosing for themselves a future reality that you yourself aren't choosing, because you're choosing the ascension path. So if you're choosing the ascension path and you're around people that aren't choosing that path, you have to remember that it's their choice. That's one of the hardest, I think, things that we're experiencing on the collective right now, is that we're seeing a lot of people going in one direction to New Earth, and then we're seeing others that are going the totally opposite direction. And it's a little painful, isn't it, on a soul level, because we, in the highest place, we're all part of the one soul that is God, and we're all brothers and sisters who love one another. And seeing people go a different way, and go against love and go against truth and go against Elohim, is a little bit heartbreaking in certain ways. But you have to remember that that's their choice, and that we have eternity. They will have another Earth. They'll have another Earth cycle that they'll get to go through, and it will be maybe more difficult for them. But sometimes that's what it takes for some of us to learn. Some souls are very much more stubborn than others. And sometimes that's what it takes for that soul to evolve. So again, everything's divine. Everything's still divine, even in the midst of the chaos. And that can be challenging to some. But the truth of it is that this reality isn't even real. It's a simulation. So if you can just remember that, you're still here to help in the physical world, because those that are plugged into the third dimension don't understand that it's a simulation, and they're very much feeling the pain of it. And it's easy to see how that can happen. But if you can just anchor in, connect to that higher frequency, and anchor it into your being, so that what you're doing in the physical world with your action step is actually helping you to anchor that higher energy onto the earth plane for others, so that they can feel it and remember it too. Some are just not there. They just don't understand, or they don't know how to connect to it. And so if you are, and you're connecting to that higher energy, anchor it in. Keep reminding people of love. Keep reminding people of truth. But don't bypass the fact that we still have to combat on a third dimensional level the actions that those beings are doing on a third dimensional perspective to harm the collective. It still has to be addressed by certain people. Some people have the role of doing that. They have the role of filing lawsuits or whatever else it is. And each of us needs to be able to connect to that. You can't just live your life floating in the 5D without having your physical needs met. Because if you don't have your physical needs met, you'll fall out of alignment with that 5D energy. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. You need to make sure that all of your needs are met on all levels, mind, body, soul. And that in the physical world, if you're just ignoring what needs to be done in the physical world, you're not really in 5D energy. You can't just ignore the physical world. That's out of alignment of truth as well. So that doesn't mean get on the ground and start bopping each other over the head, but it definitely means that if you're called to do something, or something comes into your reality that needs your physical attention, that needs you to take action in the physical world, then you need to do that. It's important. And I think that that's probably the key message that the Spirit wants me to pass forward today, is that just because we're in ascension and we're going into the new earth does not mean that we are meant to ignore what's happening in the physical reality. If we ignore it, it will get worse. It powers the darkness to ignore things because you're busy focusing on higher energy. It's good that you're focusing on higher energy, but you need to take that, anchor it into the earth plane, and take the action steps in the earth plane. I hope that made sense for everybody. I guess I'll end this video there, and if you have other questions, feel free to message me. And by the way, guys, because I'm censored everywhere, please share out the videos if you feel like they're going to help other people. I'm still trying to grow in other platforms because I'm being bombarded with censorship everywhere I go. So anyway, namaste.